The Holy Hand Grenade, thank you for the $2. Thoughts on the TJ Watt situation?
Mm,
I did see that if you go to, like, gambling places and you bet
yeah.
on where TJ Watt ends up next year, the Seahawks are, like, 2nd or 3rd in the odds, which I don't know if I get. Like, I don't know why we would go that way right now.
Yeah, I'm a little bit of a struggle bus on this one as well, Brendan. 31 years old. He's going to want a new contract. I think the Trey Hendrickson situation and this one are kind of similar in that you have guys that are getting older as players that want to get that monster payday. Do I want to pay $35 million a year for TJ Watt at 31 years old? I don't really want to do that. He is heading into the final year of his contract. So you do have to get this done if you trade for him. The part of this that would make this nice to me, Brendan, in my opinion, is that you could probably flip one of your edges in this situation so that the capital given up for TJ Watt in the grand scheme of things is actually going to be pretty low because you could throw the player in, you could throw maybe even a day 3 pick in there because you have to tell the Steelers if you're trading for him, look, we've got to give him 35 million a year. He came off an injury shortened season last season as an aging player. Like, you're not getting prime returns for that guy at this time. I also don't quite get why the Steelers would do this move right now when they seem to be trying to indicate that they're really trying to really more go for it next year. You don't bump off a TJ Watt and think you're going to be a better team for it in the Steelers position. But some of this could be too, Brendan. They just paid the DK deal. They're one of those teams a little bit like the Bengals where you'd sometimes wonder about them from a cash rich standpoint and having the escrow money to flip. I mean, 35 million a year, they got to come up with like $200 million to throw that into escrow immediately if you sign him. So maybe there's a bit of a financial impediment here to the situation with TJ. But I think I'd be hesitant, but I wouldn't be completely out on it. We do have the cap space. We're going to sign one of our edges here shortly, one way or the other. And I'm not really big on signing Mafe or Paul right now because I'd like to have seen them get closer, not to TJ Watt's level, but I'd like to see them a lot more closer to TJ Watt's level than just a little bit better than averages pass rushers in this league, and Mafe being good against the run and Hall being bad against the run. How about you?
I mean, I'm pretty sure, if you gave me a choice, either I trade a first round pick for TJ Watt or I use that first round pick on Michael Williams. I think I know which way I'm going. I think that's an easy one, especially with where this team is right now.
What if it's not that though? What if it's a Derek Hall and your final third round pick?
That's a little better. I mean, I really don't think you're going to spin that trade. I really don't think I don't think they're biting on that.
Well, I mean, that's where it comes down to how much is this is pushed along by their lack of wanting to pay him and how much is it pushed along by them wanting to maximize the draft capital return. All of us thought we could get a first round pick back for DK Metcalf, but there's a lot other stuff that ends up going into these kind of situations than it just being purely about the guy's talent. And that contract has to be signed. Why hasn't Trey Hendrickson been moved to this point? Bengals want to move him. Well, why can't they move him? Because they ain't getting the returns back that they want to get for him. And then why can't they get the returns? Because nobody wants to be paying some 31-year-old rusher that kind of money and give up prime maximum returns in addition to it. You can kind of go one or the other, right? You can move a player that has a couple years left on his deal and then help to get back the real good returns back on that trade. Or if I got to sign the guy and he's an older player, you're basically just getting what you can get. And it's more about you not paying the 35 million a year than it is about the draft returns. Just my opinion on looking at these recent deals on that.
Yeah, you might be right. I mean, that's a little more palatable. I don't know about giving that guy all that money. I don't know, man. That's coming
It's
off an
risky.
injury like that. I don't know. I don't think it's necessary, but that's certainly more palatable. And I wouldn't be against it. I wouldn't be angry if it happened for Derek Hall in a third round pick.
Because we have a couple of interesting guys here on the market. So let's say it's a Hall and a third round pick and TJ Watt for about the same money, or Micah Parsons, a first round pick in Derek Hall.
I think I'd rather do Parsons. He's
Hmm.
younger. You can grow old with him.
Doesn't play the run as well as TJ.
I know, but I think I'd rather do the Parsons thing.
Fair enough. Fair
It's
enough.
just a little bit more kind of the approach I would take right now. I want younger players that are going to be good for a while.
That's fair. That's fair enough. I don't know which way I'd go on it. I might lean more to the Watt thing, but some of that just has to do with my lack of with Parsons wondering about his love of the sport and how much he's really engaged with being
I
truly
mean,
great.
I said he's got to kill the podcast if he comes here. So if he reacts poorly to that, then you know.
Well, and it doesn't help matter when you have Lawrence saying do less talking and maybe be doing more winning. So
Yeah,
it kind of backs up what you're saying on that, right?
right.